again must be gyro days, isn't it? Looks like something's happening now. I can see the live stream chat. I don't know if we are live, honestly, but we should
You are
be.
a robot and a half. Fucking hell.
Am I?
Yeah. R2D.
Oh, it might be because I'm playing music. Well, we'll see what it's like after I finish playing music. Good evening and welcome to another Fortean Words. Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because I was playing audio.
3 CPO fucking.
I think it's the Discord. The Discord because I was playing music.
Yeah, yes.
Here we are. Good evening and welcome to another Fortean Words. This time.
Hello. Also, I am here.
Also, Hobbit is here, and Fraser. The gang's all here. The gang
back.
to entertain you. If anybody knows that one. Yeah, as Oinquison's got it, like it's a play on Dig for Victory tonight. Dig for what? Yeah, so we're going to talk about weird shit that's been pulled out of the ground, or has it been pulled out of some archaeologist's ass?
You mean any old shit dug up the dirt?
Yeah, just any old shit. Or has it just been pulled out of some archaeologist's ass? It could be on any of it. You got anything you want to start with, Hobbit?
Yep. 2.6 billion-year-old anal beads.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't fixed the keyframe thing, so it's moaning about it again. So anything I play might not look right, but I think sound's fine anyway. Yeah. Did you want to start, Hobbit, or you got anything?
Yeah. How dare Godwinson live stream at the same time when we're streaming? I mean, like,
he's just ignorant.
you got like 6 days of the week where you can stream about your gay internet drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.6 billion-year-old. I thought they were a million years old. They're billion years old. Anal beads.
Billion years.
That's right.
Million years old.
Yeah.
So there's these iron beads, and I say beads. They're quite big, like fist-sized, I think.
Ooh.
They're found
with
in
anal beads. That does sound like fun.
They were fist-sized.
Do you wrap around your knuckles like punching a lasagna?
I suppose you can do anything what you want to them, really. But
look, these are on the smaller side for dinosaurs. Okay, I mean, well, even dinosaurs don't exist then, fuck's sake. But yeah.
But 2.6 billion years ago, someone was making these beads,
yeah,
and then buried them in a coal seam, and they got ridges. Yeah, but they got ridges on them, and whatever the
ribbed for her pleasure.
Whatever the purpose was, we don't know. The fact is, not man-made.
So we do know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they're 2.6 billion-year-old anal beads. Why are they there? Did some caveman make them? But if so, like, that caveman now is making stuff out of iron. And why are they buried in the coal seam?
Yeah, those dinosaurs that escaped Earth in Star Trek Voyager? I think.
Oh, the Voth.
I think they left them behind.
Voth anal beads.
Ian wants to know, was there dried shit on them? We don't want to know.
Well,
we
can
talk about the billion-year-old shit, can't we?
Well, the coprolite comes later, but coal is. There's 2 types of coal. There's coal which is made from oil condensation into solid objects, and
melted dinosaurs.
But the other coal is biomass, what's turned into peat, then turned into lignite.
Is that melted dinosaurs?
What if we got it all wrong? Coal is just dinosaur shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dinosaurs could be also like
the great dinosaur pooing grounds is what he's saying.
So in India, where they cook things with cow pats, we cook things with dinosaur pats.
There we go, another mystery Another mystery
Mystery
debunked.
solved.
What the fuck? Hold
Yeah.
on, my computer's shutting down.
Oh, that's nice.
Why the
Yeah. Goodbye,
Windows
everyone.
Update.
Thanks for the episode. See you next week.
This is brought to you by Microsoft.
No, it's not shutting down. It's just spazzing out immensely.
Oh, yeah, because, it's not a personal computer anymore. You just got it on loan from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jojo Gizmo says, how do you know they shoved them up their ass? Was there a cave drawing of them in action? Yes, there was. Watch Star Trek Voyager and you'll see.
That episode is so fucking.
So, which episode are you talking about?
Well, the
Right.
dinosaurs left Earth and went to the fucking. Is it the Gamma Quadrant or Delta Quadrant?
So dinosaurs left Earth. They're in a far-flung section of the galaxy where Voyager is, and a dinosaur scientist has got this crazy idea, which is controversial, that vaccines cause autism. No, that dinosaurs originated from Earth, and like the dinosaur council are like. You're not going to do this because it's unscientific.
I think Rick and Morty did it better. Didn't Rick and Morty do that? Where
the
dinosaurs
20 years later?
Yeah, I think Rick and Morty probably did it better.
Rick and Morty did it better 20 years later. Yeah. Okay, but I can't think of Rick and Morty apart from like that. That clip of like, I'm going to beat my wife, Marty. It's going to be 8 seasons of me beating my wife, Marty. I like beating my wife, Marty. Whenever she talks, I beat her up, Marty. It's going to be great. She's going to have 2 black eyes, Marty. I beat my wife, Marty. I beat my wife.
Only it's going to sound weird next season because Thingy's been binned, hasn't he? Justin Roiland's been binned.
Oh, is it like when the guy who did
like when the
Frog?
When the Muppets came back and they sounded all weird because Frank Oz dead.
They need to do the same with like Apu in Simpsons. Hello, Shrubby Bubs and Fijian. I mean, Frank will come again. They The Simpsons. Did you know the Simpsons are still going on? That's an artifact they'll find in the ground 2.6 billion years ago.
Yeah, they'll find it.
They'll
find all the videotapes right alongside fucking ET, won't they? The desert.
Oh, and those posters of Bart Simpson saying "Eat my shorts, cowabunga, dude."
Yeah.
Now, this is also an artifact from the past. People like Zoomers who know since history might not know this, but Bart Simpson from The Simpsons was seen as a cultural icon and a bit of a rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what we were supposed to be talking about. Are you finished up?
Ancient artifacts, ancient anal beads. I'm not saying it was aliens, but aliens.
Well, like that time we used the bog roll in a whole day.
You would do if you're using like solid iron anal beads.
Yeah. So what do they say? So what are they positing that these beads are for then?
They're not. They're just like, we wish this wouldn't appear in our 2.6 billion year old coal seam because people are going to start asking questions like, how are artificial objects appearing in coal, which is 2.6 billion years old?
It's an inconvenient truth.
Or could it?
Saying,
Yeah. Or could it be that the dating system's completely fucking whack and we can't actually date anything other than.
Also, could it be that maybe.
100, maybe 1,000 years at best.
Maybe, just maybe, human beings have been living longer than a couple thousand years.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we used to ride T-Rex.
And Diplodocus. What would you call the multiple of? What's the plural? Not Diplodocus.
No, Docusus, right? It'd be like fishers. You don't call it fish-eye, do you?
Fishy.
Well, I did try and set up a stream on Odyssey, but it's just fucking horrible.
School of fish.
Fish-eye.
Fish sticks.
Fish-eye.
I think fish is like sheep, where the plural of fish is fish.
Sheeps.
Yeah, I'm not Jeremy Clarkson, so I'm not going to do that. A group of sheep. Sheep.
A group of Diplodocus. Sorry.
1 Diplodocus, 2 Diplodocus. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Right, so what else did we find, Robert?
Uh,
Dang.
Oh yeah,
Tangent on this one.
yeah. So in Death Valley, they're these stones. So technically, not something dug out of the ground. But I'm going to
Still
mention.
connected to the ground. Right?
Well, I'm going to mention it because it's like nobody observes these stones moving about, but they do observe the trails left behind, which would suggest that they've been dragged across the desert. But no one's observed them moving. And the speculation is, the wind just blows them about. The wind blows them about, but it doesn't blow away the trails they leave in the ground, showing that they've been dragged. Now, some might say,
of this?
I'm sure there's pictures of it, but it depends on.
We're not on Odyssey tonight because why do they make things counterintuitive?
So all you got to do is write your own Python script and
learn to code, Hemi. That's what you need to
do. Learn what Python is, and then use it to integrate with the Java upload applet. Yeah. And hopefully they haven't changed their API more than 3 times this year, so that once you've made the script, it carries on working.
Well, I've deleted them all. I really don't know what the fuck's going on with this.
And, this just assumes that Microsoft Windows doesn't just go, your system's updating and you've got 1 minute to save your work.
It's because I'm not signed in, because I can't sign in.
Because you don't have an account?
I've got an account. I've got an account and I've set it up.
Boomer.
But obviously,
fucking Boomer Lord over it.
But obviously, it's like, fuck you. You want to sign in? Fuck off.
Fraser wants to see pictures of stones in Death Valley. Move around?
Yeah, I want to see stone trails. Let's go.
Hold on.
I want to see the stones, the moving stones,
the
rolling stones.
Yeah, which nobody observes moving and rolling about. Death Valley National Park in California is home to one of the most strangest phenomena.
Is that a UNESCO World Heritage Site by any chance?
Probably.
I'm going to click on Wikipedia. Sailing stones, also called sliding, walking, rolling, and moving rocks, are part of the geological phenomenon in which rocks move and inscribe long tracks along a smooth valley floor without animal intervention. The movement of the rocks occurs when large thin sheets of ice floating on an ephemeral winter pond break up in the sun. So it's just ephemeral water, in one of the most arid places. Death Valley, that you just get a little bit of ice. It's just ice, which is gone, bro. I should mention
it comes from the sky.
I should mention that it's been long known that that you can harvest ice from the desert. Saladin did it back in the day. He'd have these shallow troughs. Right? Yeah, and he'd have shallow troughs of water, and then the frigid morning winds would blow on it and turn it into ice, and then they just sort of scoop up the ice, and then you'd have ice. Which is weird to think, you're in the desert and you can have ice. The movement of the rocks occurs when large thin sheets of ice floating on the ephemeral winter pond break up in the sun. Frozen during cold winter nights, these thin floating ice piles are driven by wind and shove rocks up at speeds of 5 meters per minute.
Oh, apparently Apple plans to screw with your USB-C. I've just seen a video on Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, they're going to do a thing saying that unless you buy an Apple-branded USB-C cable, you can't charge quickly. Trails of sliding rocks have been observed in Sony on various occasions, including Little Bonnie Claire Player in Nevada, and most famously at Racetrack Player, Death Valley National Park, California. And the number of length of tracks are notable.
How are they saying they're doing it? By ice just forms
during
them and then it slides them? Is that it?
Well, you see, during the night, ice forms, ice is really slippy, and these stones are just float magically on top of the ice because the ice
how do you
doesn't.
Get the ice under the stone if the stone is already on the ground?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Don't think about
Trust
it.
trust science. Trust the science.
Right.
I
mean, does the ice come up from the ground then? Does it?
No, it's in the air. Sorry, the water vapor in the air
Right.
solidifies as ice, precipitates out.
And then the winds. I mean, they'd have to get under the rocks, right?
Yeah, it's not really saying how that happens or how the ice doesn't just glue the rock in place.
Exactly, like.
At Racetrack Player, these tracks have been studied since the early 1900s, yet the origins of stone movement were not confirmed, and remain the subject of research for which several hypotheses existed. However, as of August 2014, timeless video footage of rocks moving has been published, showing the rocks moving at high wind speeds with the flow of thin melting sheets of ice. Right, so they are saying it's the wind that blows them around, but the wind somehow doesn't blow away the tracks left in the dirt. Showing the rocks moving at high wind speeds within the flow of thin melting sheets of ice. Scientists have thus identified the cause of the moving stones to be ice shove. Hypothesis. Right.
It's not cute. You have to.
So, trust the science.
Trust the
21st century.
Wouldn't the whole area be like trailed? Not just Are we talking about singular stones then? Are we talking about
there's a few, and the Racetrack Player in Death Valley has a lot of them. Further understanding the geologic processes work in Racetrack Player goes hand in hand with technological development. In 2009, development of inexpensive time-lapse digital cameras allowed the capturing of transient meteorological phenomena, including dust devils and playa flooding. These cameras are aimed at capturing various stages of the previously mentioned phenomena. Through discussion of the sliding stones ensued, the developers of photographic technology describe the difficulty of capturing the racetrack's stealthy rocks, as movements only occur about once every 3 years, and they believe lasted about 10 seconds. The next identified advancement was wind-triggered imagery, vastly reducing the 10 millions of seconds of non-transient time they had to sift through. It was postulated the small rifts of ice form around rocks, and the rocks are buoyantly floated off the soft bed. Ah yes, because as we all know, rocks are less dense than water, thus reducing the reaction and friction forces at the bed. Since the effect depends on reducing friction, not on increasing wind drag, these ice cakes need not have a particularly large surface area if the ice is adequately thick. Oh, okay, right. Right, so
there's a lot of assumptions here.
So I am postulating that they're saying the ice forms underneath the rocks because, like, the rocks jut up from the ground, and the moisture would then accrete on the bottom surface, and somehow it doesn't leach immediately into the ground. It forms like a layer of ice on the bottom of the stone.
Well, for that to happen, the ground must already be cold. So this must be happening very, very fast.
Well, the bit which I wonder about that is, like, so it gets to the bottom of it and it freezes to the bottom of the stone rather than just dripping off and getting wicked away by the sand below. Reinforcing the ice raft theory, a research study pointed out narrowing trails, intermittent springs, and trail ends having no rocks. The study identified that water drained from higher into the playa while ice covered the intermittent lake. It suggests that the water buoyantly lifts the ice flows with embedded rocks until friction with the playa bed is reduced sufficiently for wind to move them and cause the observed tracks. The study also analyses an artificial ditch intended to prevent visitors from driving on the playa and concludes that it may interfere with rock sliding. In 2020, NASA ruled out the potential reasons of stone moving results from the microbial mats and wind-generated water waves based on a fossil of dinosaur. What the hell does that mean? So in 2020, NASA ruled out the potential reasons for the stones
NASA,
moving.
yes. NASA. Let's NASA, shall we?
So they ruled out potential reasons stones moving results from the microbial... If I copy and paste the sentence, can you read it out? see if it makes any sense to you, because it's English, but like I posted it in the back chat.
Right. In 2020, NASA ruled out the potential reasons for the stone's moving results from the microbial mats and wind-generated waterways based on a fossil of dinosaur footprint.
None of that makes sense to me. Like this, like you've said a bunch of things, but none of that's related to one
NASA ruled
another.
out the potential reason for the stone. Right. So for the potential reason for the stone moving.
Okay, so there is a
microbial mats and wind-generated waterways based on
there is a footnote there. So if I post in the footnote, we can go on to kidsnews.com. All the news pertaining to kids. NASA has sparked interest in the mystery of Death Valley sailing stones that simply move on their own across the desert with no human or animal help and no obvious explanation. The US Space Agency chose an image of a sailing stone, also known as a sliding rock, for its astronomy picture of the day. So there's a picture here on this website showing the Milky Way, which, as we all know, is Greek for galaxy. Milky Way in galaxy Milky Way in Greek is galaxy. There. The dry lake at Racetrack Playa in California's Death Valley, US, is famous for them. Scientists have studied the rocks and the long trails they leave behind, suspecting that ice, wind, or even bacteria can be causing the heavy rocks to move. NASA selected photographer Keith Burke, who's a photographer's image of a sailing stone for its daily astronomer photo, as it features a Milky Way filled sky. NASA wrote alongside its chosen image, "How long did this rock end up on this strange terrain?" One of the more unusual places here on Earth occurs inside Death Valley. There a dried lake bed named Racetrack Playa exists that is almost perfectly flat, with the odd exception of some very large stones, one of which is pictured here in April of 2019 beneath a dark Milky Way-filled sky. Scientists are becoming more confident about what causes the rocks to move, explained NASA. Only recently, however, has a viable scientific hypothesis. Both viable and scientific hypothesis have asterisks on them.
Yeah, I noticed that.
However, has a viable scientific hypothesis been given to explain how heavy sailing stones end up near the middle of such a flat land surface? Unfortunately, as frequently happens in science, a seemingly surreal problem ends up having a pretty mundane solution. Surreal, mundane, both have asterisks. It turns out that in winter, thin ice sheets form and winds push ice sections laden with even heavy rocks across the temporary slick playa when sunlight melts the ice. Last year, researchers spotted another sailing stone on track on the fossil of well-preserved dinosaur footprints of 200 million years ago. Paleontologist, that also has an asterisk. Maybe these are like they have like a glossary of terms because it's supposed to be for children. This stuff.
Yes. I hope so.
Paleontologist Paul Olson of Columbia University, and his team. Why do they call it US and not USA? And his team recently presented their findings about the long smear mark puzzled over by scientists since 1896. The researchers considered how the sailing stone would have moved along the footprints and argued their findings could be evidence of a brief freezing period during the early Jurassic. This would fit in with the theory that the stones move when ice is formed if the area they're in gets flooded. They are then thought to sail across the ice as it melts, creating a track in the mud that hardens and remains when the water evaporates. There's a photograph here showing a smear mark on this fossil of a dinosaur footprint is thought to be from an ancient sailing stone. So there's dinosaur.
There's your smear campaign. That was quite funny. That was on. Do you remember the Family Guy?
Oh no, I don't.
When Brian's talking about he's doing the weed bit, and then Brian says there was a smear campaign against weed, and then Peter just lets one rip, and then he goes, "There's your smear campaign."
Ugh. It's dirty.
That was funny.
This reminds me of in Malta. They call them ancient cart tracks, except they're prehistoric, and the ruts go about 10 inches deep into bedrock. And they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's just a cart and donkey going over the same piece of land over and over again makes these tracks." You know, a wooden wheel goes into hard bedrock and carves out 10-inch long ruts, and that's really good. You see, you're not going to be like just driving along and going, "Oh, I'll avoid those ruts." No, I'll just keep on going into them until they're 10 inches deep. 10 inches deep into bedrock. Microbes and wind generated waterwaves are also possible reasons for the stones moving, but the researchers ruled these methods out for the ancient sandstone. Right, okay, now I understand that sentence in the Wikipedia article.
Hey!
They concluded
was reading a kid's fucking thing.
They concluded that the ice method was more likely because the details preserved in the dinosaur footprint would not have been as complicated if microbes had been involved. Really? It doesn't say why it would have been not complicated, it's just it is. Oh, and then there's a bit about Death Valley. Oh, and then the glossary of terms: terrain, the form of the land, such as rocky, flat, hilly, viable, possible, doable. Hypothesis, idea or statement that you can test to see if it's true. Surreal, weird, like it's not real. Mundane, everyday and a bit boring. Slick, smooth. Oh, I'm glad that slick has been glossaried. Paleontologists, fossil expert. Microbes, short word for microorganisms, including bacteria. Extra reading, breakthrough in the Loch Ness mystery, the mystery of the monster's invisible teeth. Solving the Stonehenge mystery, take a virtual tour of the world. Oh, and there's a quiz. Question 1, let's see if the chat can get in on this. Other than the stone, what else is in this photo that NASA is interested in? Oh, they'd have to see it. There's a picture of the galaxy. Question 2, well done, chat. Everyone got that right. Explain what scientists believe causes the stones to move. Let's see if we get any answers from the chat. We'll have to wait a while for them to. There's what the YouTube delay footprint would not have been as question complicated number 3, if microbes had been involved. What is the ancient sliding stone on top of? And question number 4, what are the 2 reasons the ancient sliding stone the scientists considered? Oh, and then a bonus question. List 3 facts about Death Valley. Please send your answers to BBC Blue Peter, PO Box 1488. Is it Shepherd's Bush? Yeah, I think it's Shepherd's Bush, London. And please use the postcode. So let's see what.
I think don't you have to use a new stream key every time you go on Odyssey, don't you?
I've done it once, and I don't know what I did. Frankly, I find it amazing I can do technology at all.
Yeah, no, that's wank. It's just a pile of wank.
I made some music recently, which you can find on YouTube. That's the only place I've uploaded it to. I wasn't sober when I made it.
Sergeant Oikmanson says they want to grind up the stone and put it in Halloween masks. If anybody gets the reference to that one.
Okay.
Halloween 3. Have you seen Halloween 3, Hobbit?
Long story short, I didn't have any 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapters. No, the other way round, to fit the line out for my microphone.
Is this why you can't tell me if you watched Halloween 3 or not?
Yeah, off the synth into my computer. However, the microphone which I'm speaking to you now on, we're doing the show about things what we've done found on the ground. Has a line in socket on it.
The question I asked you was, have you seen Halloween 3, Hobbit?
That's the one with Freddy Krueger in it.
No. Halloween 3 is.
That's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Halloween 3 is the one without Michael Myers in it, and it's like a completely separate thing. It's nothing to do with the rest of the Halloween films.
Why do they call it Halloween then?
Right, the original intention for the Halloween films, like I'm sure quite a lot of people know this, but the original intention was for it to be an anthology series. So every time there's a new Halloween film, there'd be a different subject. But what happened was
Okay.
the studio made Carpenter do 2, and then he did 3, which is what he wanted to originally do as 2, and then people said, "Where's Michael Myers?" And then that was the end of that. But Halloween 3 is quite a good. If you just want to watch one Halloween film and it has nothing to do with like Michael Myers or anything, it's really interesting because what they do, some geezer he's a bit mad. It's the old man from RoboCop.
Paul Weller?
No, the man who runs the company. They call him the old man, don't they?
Oh, okay.
So he's actually some evil guy, and what he wants to do is he wants to zap little kiddies in the face so their heads turn to bugs.
Hey, you know we're doing stories of things what have been found in the ground.
Yeah.
I'll read this headline to you. Giant 7-foot-long demon-slaying sword is discovered in a 1,600-year-old tomb in Japan.
Yeah.
Archaeologists say weapon was laid by the dead to help them fight evil spirits in the afterlife.
Oni.
An iron sword designed for warding off demons is found in a burial mound. A shield made from a mirror was also uncovered, suggesting the two also fighting the Medusa, and also figured out that a mirror shown to her.
Well, no, isn't that like the Master Sword and the Mirror Shield? Like
I'm saying it's a sword wielded by a giant because...
yeah, it's adult Link. He's gone through the Temple of Time.
He's
talking about Zelda Hobbit. He's talking. It's all right. Yeah. Fraser's talking about pop culture Hobbit. Just smile and pretend you know what he's talking about.
Nintendo, boop boop. I too enjoy Tetris from time to time.
Oh, they're doing a movie, The Tetris Guy. This is kind of conspiracy. Like I watched the documentary about the Tetris Guy. You should watch it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Hobbit. What colour is the guy's tunic in the burial tomb?
It's definitely a colour. Yes.
Yeah. What colour?
Hey, did you know Link is
the Tetris Guy murdered?
Did you know it's Link's burial ground?
And did you know the Tetris guy murdered his wife and child and then half sawed his own head off?
What?
Right. No, I didn't know that. I do know that Hans Reiser, creator of the Ride the File system,
he killed himself by slitting his throat so hard he went halfway through the neck. Like that's how much he really wanted to commit suicide.
Yeah. Did he have evidence that lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton?
No, he had the code to Tetris.
He had the code to Tetris.
Well, I mean,
the programming
weapons,
code.
yeah.
Like he created Tetris.
Yeah.
Hasn't the source code been public knowledge for a long time now? I mean, I think that's one of the reasons
why.
why
He created it so the Soviet Union could like distract everyone and like they'd take over the world. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's pertinent to mention, in addition to the 7-foot-long sword and the mirror shield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last year in Japan, a 1,000-year-old killing stone cracked open, releasing a demon. The 1,000-year-old killing stone trapped the spirit of a malevolent being. Oh, they don't want to call it a demon.
Was it named Ganon?
And something that led to the arrest and imprisonment of the demon Hillary Clinton.
I think it's a fox demon, but I just want to say Link is canonically Christian. Yeah, something about a fox demon with 9 tails. Yeah. According to legend,
no, that's not Amaterasu. Oh, what's that? What's the one called?
Due to rainwater, of course, the rock is split open, sending believers into a state of frenzy. The legend warns anyone who comes into contact with the stone will die. This volcanic rock, which is officially called the Shesoseki, is rumoured to contain the mythical Tamano no Me, also known as the 9-tailed fox. Oh, I was right. It's a fox demon.
I've got one here. I've got one here that includes a quote from Charles Fort. Anyway, carry on.
Tamano no Me was the ancient demon from Japanese mythology that took the form of a beautiful woman.
Oh, Kitsune yokai. Yeah, the Kitsune.
So ancient Japanese fox fairies. The creature was storied to be part of a plot to kill Emperor Toba, ruler of Japan from 1107 to 1123 Anno Domini, year of our Lord. Yeah. The volcanic rock is actually a popular tourist attraction. Oh, it's actually a popular tourist attraction. Actually, located in the mountainous northern region of Tochigi, near Tokyo.
Is it in north? Is it a bit?
Located in the mountainous northern region of Tochigi, near Tokyo. The region is famous for its sulphurous hot springs. You can smell like rotten eggs as you have a bath.
Beautiful.
According to folklore, this killing stone earned its name by spewing poisonous gas at people. However, since the rock cracked open, visitors have been fearful of approaching the site. Some users online have even expressed fears the evil spirit has been unleashed once again. Lily0727K, a user on Twitter.
When did this break open and when was hentai?
It broke open last year.
Oh, okay, so it's not hentai.
Shared an image of the split rock, writing, "I came alone to Shisoseki, where the legend of the nine-tailed fox remains."
Afterwards.
I don't know. It was supposed to be, but the rock was split in half and the rope was also detached. If it's a manga, it's a pattern that the seal is broken and is possessed by a nine-tailed fox, and I feel I've been seeing something that shouldn't be seen. I'm getting really scared. According to the local reports, the rock had actually begun cracking a couple of years ago. Most likely, rainwater seeped into the rock, degrading it over the years until... Yeah, okay, but yeah, right, carry on. Mr. Nothing to see here, it's just rainwater. No, it's obviously...
rainwater, bro.
It's just rainwater.
Okay, Snopes.
This is rainwater, bro.
Japanese Snopes. Is that Japanese Snopes going?
It's JapaneseDailyExpress.co.uk. Local officials are now figuring out what to do with the rock's remains and are looking into whether they could attempt to restore it. Others have commented on Split Rock saying, yeah, here I thought in 2022 couldn't get worse. Now our furious Japanese spirit is freed from its killing stone. But another joked, my guess is the demon is going to look around in 2022 and want to go back into the rock for another millennium. Am I right, Reddit?
To be
Tips
fair,
for Dora?
To be honest,
that's a fair comment.
True. It does make you look around and be like, what do I need to do here? It's already happening.
That one is.
It still seems like a Reddit moment to me. The
demon goes out and is like, oh, this is hell already. What do I have to do? Just goes on holiday.
Oh, my help is not needed here. I'll just have a nap.
I'll just snuggle back in my rock, yeah.
The Japanese newspaper quoted a tourism official saying he would like to see the Shisoseki restored to its original form. Hopefully, the rumoured demon within the stone would be restored to its rocky prison as well.
They're going to super glue it back together and hope the demon...
They're going to literally shut the barn after the fox is bolted.
Yeah, the nine-tailed fox.
Nine-tails, I choose you.
The killing stone was registered as
Is it going to team up with a blue hedgehog and rule the world?
It's got a name. What's the name of this nine-tailed fox?
You already said it.
Nine-tails, Pokemon, isn't it? Nine-tails.
Tamomo no Me. Tamomo no Me.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that's it. Tamagotchi, exactly.
Yeah.
What they can do? Oh, right, here we go. The killing stone was registered as an official historical site in 1957. It was also mentioned in Matsuo Basho's The Narrow Road to the Deep North. The site has inspired a play, a novel, and an anime thing. Yeah, a play which is called a no.
Oh,
I'm going to look.
Play.
Yeah, a no play, NOH. NOH, no. Derived from.
That's the why the demon wants to go back in the rock.
Derived from the Sino-Japanese word for skill or talent, is a major form of classical Japanese dance drama. Okay,
so it's gonna destroy the world in the form of interpretive dance.
So there's a traditional Japanese dancing play about it.
During blasting work at Dorchester, Massachusetts in 1851, the broken halves of a bell-shaped vessel, this might be what you were talking about, Hobbit, were thrown by the force of an explosion from the vessel's resting place within a bed of formerly solid rock. The vase, about 4.5 inches high, was made of an unknown metal and embellished with floral inlays of silver, the art of some cunning workman, according to the local newspaper report. The editor of Scientific American gave his opinion that the vase had been made by Tubal Cain, the biblical father of metallurgy. In response,
Actually, there's another way of pronouncing it, which I think you'll find is quite pertinent. It's also known as two-ball cane, and like the logo of like Facebook before it became Meta and then became Facebook again was a lowercase f. Yeah. That's also the symbol of two-ball cane, which is like it's two balls and a cane.
Okay.
The cane looks like a flaccid.
The little things with it. The stylized F with the little things on it.
The cane also looks like a willy, what is flaccid.
Okay.
That's why it's got two balls.
In response, Charles Fort, a lifelong connoisseur of anomalies and dedicated opponent of scientific dogmatism, said, "Though I fear that this is a little arbitrary, I'm not disposed to fly rapidly at every scientific opinion." Just fucking Charles Fort again, dabbing on the scientific community.
Yeah, well, it needs to be done because
he's a fucking legend, Charles Fort, isn't he? And that's why we called it Fortean Words, because Charles Fort is an absolute chad.
Do you remember when the train?
We needed Charles Fort now. We needed Charles Fort to fight fucking Fauci, didn't we?
Do you remember when train enthusiasts was be like, but I thought this had other implications, and it's like, no, it's about Charles Fort.
Yeah, because he's a chad.
Charles Fort, the original I fucking hate science guy.
The original I fucking love science. I'd love to, like, if you want to resurrect anybody in history, mine's now is Charles Fort, and I'd love to see him go up against Black Science Man.
Oh, I don't know. If I could resurrect anybody, it would be Sir Joseph Paxton, because it'd be like, go on, invent me a banana then.
Yeah. No, it'd be Charles Fort. Charles Fort, it'd be like a two-way fight between Black Science Man and Bill Nye.
Oh, mate. Bill Nye, there needs to be like a sort of death match thing, the elimination round, and so Joseph Paxton versus Charles Fort, Black Science Man versus Isn't Space Amazing? Look at my nunu! I found a galaxy in my nunu!
Just one Charles Fort versus them three.
Oh, I've got a nunu. I've got a galaxy in my nunu. Isn't it amazing?
In 1851, Hiram DeWitt of Springfield, Massachusetts, accidentally dropped a fist-sized piece of gold-bearing quartz that he had previously brought back from California. The rock was broken apart by the fall, and inside it, DeWitt found a 2-inch cut iron nail, slightly corroded. This was entirely straight and had a perfect head. How about that one then, Hobbit? What do you think to that?
Entirely straight and a perfect head. I don't know. That sounds a bit blowjob gay to me.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think to that, though, coming out of a fist-sized piece of gold-bearing quartz?
I'm wondering what's
gold-bearing quartz?
Oh, so it's quartz, what's got gold in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You think Hiram was quite a fan of the old gold then, do you?
Every time you say Hiram, I keep thinking of Hiram a Biff.
That's why I keep saying it. That's why I keep saying Hiram like that. There's a particular reason I keep saying Hiram like that.
Yeah, wasn't he like a famous bloke? What's that thing? The people with the elaborate handshakes.
Oh,
Freemasons. Hiram a Biff of the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Different Hiram, I imagine.
Hiram
and
How
Hiram.
are you doing? How you doing, Bernie? The guy say I'm pretty fly for a rabbi. Can you imagine that? Weird Al Yankovic is not Jewish.
Hobbit. Geodes are something like oysters, but not much to look at on the outside, but apt to contain something valuable within. Is this your experience of geodes? Is it, Hobbit?
I think geodes are pretty rad. They're like I like geodes. Why?
Oh, there's a bit about... okay. Oh, well, this is quite interesting. So, to the untrained eye, geodes look like ordinary stones, but their cavities are often filled with small wonderland of colourful crystals and minerals. A good geode, carefully sawn in half, is much prized by rock collectors and by those whose business is selling rocks. In 1961, Wally Lane Mike Mikesell, that's really his name, Mike Mikesell, and Virginia Maxey, the three people with the weirdest fucking names in our whole of America, just happen to be mates.
But does Virginia have a brother called Austin?
Austin Maxey, yeah. Co-owners of the LM&V. Wow, they fucking really thought about that name, didn't they? Jesus Christ. They must have been up all night thinking about that one. The LM&V Rockhounds Gem and Gift Shop in fucking hell. They go for the snappy start and then they just falls apart, doesn't it? In Olancha, California, went into the Coso Mountains, 6 miles northeast of Olancha, to look for unusual rocks. Near the top of a 4,300-foot peak overlooking the dry bed of Owens Lake, they found a fossil-encrusted geode that proved to contain something very strange. When the geode proved to contain after Mikesell, why can't you just call him Mike? Fucking hell.
Or Mr. Mikesell.
Mr. Mikesell. Mike Sell by name and by Mike Sell by nature. Had ruined a diamond
Mike by name, Sell by nature.
Had ruined a diamond saw blade in cutting it open. Was something that later to be shown to resemble a spark plug. In the middle of the geode was a metal core about 0.8 inch, 2 millimeters in diameter. Enclosing this was what appeared to be a ceramic collar that was self-encased in a hexagonal sleeve carved out of wood that had presumably at a later date become petrified. Around this was the outer layer of the geode, consisting of hardened clay, pebbles, bits of fossil shell, and 2 non-magnetic metallic objects resembling a nail and a washer. A fragment of copper still remaining between the ceramic and petrified wood suggests that the two may once have been separated by a now decomposed copper sleeve.
See, spark plugs can occur in nature. Yeah. It's proven.
Remember that next time your dad tells you spark plugs don't grow on trees.
Yeah.
X-ray photographs of the objects were taken, and it was after examining those that the editor of Info Journal, Paul Willis, noticed the startling similarity between the Coso artifact and a modern spark plug. In 1963, the Coso geode had been displayed for 3 months at Eastern California Museum in Independence. Wally Lane then seems to have taken possession of the object, and in 1969 was reportedly offering it for sale for $25,000. According to the estimate of a geologist unnamed in the original report of the find, the age of the geode, based on the fossils it contains, is some 500,000 years. No examination by a named professional scientist or scientific organisation is on record. Well, they wouldn't, would they? Because they wouldn't want to prove that true, would they?
No. Well, it's just nature, occasionally makes spark plugs.
Yeah.
Because it's just a natural.
When life gives you geodes, make spark plugs.
Yeah, just look, spark plugs are naturally occurring phenomena. Everyone knows that. These are just natural, not
spark plugs.
Yeah, that's conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I fucking hate science.
Modern science.
An iron instrument, apparently resembling the bit of a coal drill, was found inside a lump of coal taken from an excavation in Scotland in 1852. It was supposed that a miner had broken his drill while working the seam and had left the piece of metal embedded there. But the surface of the lump of coal was unbroken. It showed no sign of drilling, nor any present or former opening by which a drill might have passed into its interior. If such a thing were not quite impossible, according to every date in the geology textbooks, observers would have been obliged to conclude that the coal had somehow formed around the mysterious metal. I don't quite know what they're saying there.
Well, it's saying that coal ate the drill bit.
Yeah.
Fighting back.
Yeah, coal just does that. It's just the solid objects which will just merge around it. Why is that so controversial to you? Idiot.
How do you pronounce
Why
that
don't you
place?
just trust the
Aix-en-Provence. How do you pronounce that a bit?
Aix-en-Provence.
Okay. Extensive quarrying was done near the city of Aix-en-Provence, France, between 1786 and 1788 to provide the large quantities of limestone needed for the rebuilding of the Palace of Justice. In the quarry from which the limestone was taken, the rock strata was separated from each other by layers of sand and clay, and by the time the workmen had removed the 11 layers of rock, they found they had reached a depth of some 40 or 50 feet below the original ground level of the area.
It sounded a bit like you were saying lemonade layers of rock.
Yeah. Beneath the lemonade layer of limestone, they came to a bed of sand and began to move it to get at the rock beneath. But in the sand, they found the stumps of stone pillars and fragments of half-worked rock, the same stone and rock as they had themselves had been excavating. They dug further and, to their intense surprise, found coins, the petrified wooden handles of hammers, and pieces of other petrified wooden tools. Finally, they came to a large wooden board, 7 or 8 feet long and an inch thick. Like the wooden tools, it had also been petrified into form of agate. What's agate, Hobbit?
Agate's a type of stone.
Had been broken
semi-precious stone?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's an agate. Yeah, it's crystallized. An agate, yeah.
And had been broken into pieces. When the pieces were reassembled, the workmen saw before them a quarryman's board, exactly the kind they themselves used, worn in just the same way as their own boards were, with rounded, wavy edges. How a stonemason's yard, equipped with the kind of tools used in France in the late 18th century, had come to be buried 50 feet deep under layers of sand and limestone 300 million years old, is a question even more vexing today than at the time of the original discovery.
It's vexing, bruv.
Vexing, bruv. I'm totally vexed, bruv. For now we know, thanks to advances in geological and anthropological dating, such a thing is absolutely and it's easy for me to say, incontrovertibly impossible. Yeah, it does seem
saying
to have
after
happened.
A few.
Yeah. It's incontrovertibly impossible, but it happened, Hobbit. It's impossible, but it happened. So it's not impossible then, is it?
Almost like something in the 1700s, like swallowed up the ground, swallowed up these
Well,
things.
it's weird. Yeah, and petrified it.
Have you ever seen videos of earthquakes and then it's solid ground, but then it's all bubbly and it's not. It's a liquid.
Yeah, liquefaction. Yes. Yeah.
Right, I'll be back in a sec.
Blow his nose. So, did you have any things what have been found in the ground, but now they're not in the ground?
Well, not well. Okay, got a small bit about it. Viking sword. Okay, right. So let's see this. Viking.
Once upon a time, there was a Viking sword.
Yes, an Ulfbrunt sword displayed at the Saramescus National Museum, Nuremberg, Germany. When archaeologists found a Viking sword, Ulfbert, dating from 800 to 1000 AD, they were stunned. They couldn't see how the technology to make such a sword would have been available until the Industrial Revolution 800 years later. The carbon content is 3 times higher than other swords at the time, and impurities were removed such a degree that the iron ore must have been heated to at least 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
I think I remember seeing recently that steel was found in Europe 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, well. Basically this sword was found, well, yeah.
Well, the thing is,
it was dated then, but revolution was 800 years later.
Steel smelting is more complex than basic iron smelting because it's not just combine. If you could just combine basic carbon and steel together, you end up with cast iron, which is very brittle. Steel, you've got to do stuff to it at very high temperatures. Well, the thing is, we know even from conventional history that there was a Bronze Age first, then there was the Iron Age.
Steel's iron and tin, isn't it?
Steel is iron and carbon, but if you get tin copper. But if you get come on, brain. Yeah, if you just combine carbon and iron together, you get cast iron, which is strong, but it's brittle. It's not steel. But that's my point, you see.
Yeah, because steel's built. Steel's kind of it takes a lot of vibration, doesn't it? Whereas cast iron can't.
Steel is tough, where there's toughness is how much it can take before it breaks.
Yeah.
There's a difference between toughness and hardness. So, like, for example, diamond is very hard, but it's not very tough. You can shatter it with a hammer made up steel. Now, the thing I want to mention about that, even in conventional history, it's understood that before the Iron Age, there was the Bronze Age. But bronze requires not just like understanding of metallurgy and alloys, but a communication network, because copper and tin are in separate places in the world. Like, yeah, you can get your copper from Cyprus, but as far as I know, the nearest available tin's either in Germany or Cornwall. And Joseph of Arimathea, who was Jesus' uncle, he had tin mines in Cornwall. So the people of the Levant knew about Cornwall. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I did.
Do you want to know another something?
Herman Hermit says just reading the chat briefly. Herman Hermit says, "Wonder what they won't mention. What the find on the HS2 tunneling site, Smithsonian keep it. I guess. If you got more information about that, I'd like to hear it."
Yeah.
Oh, Ireland.
So also,
Herman's saying Ireland has tin mines.
Not as good as Cornish tin.
It's still the fact that the like tin is in like Northern Europe, right?
Yeah, they'd have to come to England to get it.
And copper is in the Mediterranean, so it's like
it takes less. It takes less moving around and less technology to make iron tools than it does bronze tools.
Things that make you go, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, steel was found like 3,000 years ago in Europe, so steel metallurgy was known about then. Not cast iron, not wrought iron, but steel.
Right. Well, have you guys heard of the Iron Pillar of Delhi?
Yeah.
We spoke about it a few times on here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just say it again, because you never know. It might be someone's first episode, and I don't mind going over old
So the Iron
stuff.
Pillar of Delhi, an inscription from about 400 AD by King Chandragupta II on the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Okay.
Hello, I am the real King
So basically,
Chandragupta.
it's okay. So the pillar is at least 1,500 years old, but could be older. It remains rust free, and is of an astounding purity. It is 99.72% iron, according to Professor A.P. Gupta, head of the Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities at the Institute of Technology and Management of India. In modern times, wrought iron has been made with a purity of 99.8%, but it contains magnesium and sulfur, two ingredients absent in the pillar. It was made at least 400 years before the largest known foundry of the world could have produced it, wrote John Rowler in a study of craftsmen of the ancient world and medieval civilization.
It's just naturally occurring, bro.
Yeah, and they managed to write, Chandragupta just stuck it in the ground and wrote on it, I guess.
Hello, my name is Chandragupta. This is really true.
To show the influence of training and present day method of trading. Yeah, so there's a giant iron pillar in Delhi that does not rust.
Yeah. Yeah, because as we all know, iron, stainless iron, it's a commonly known substance. What's controversial about that?
Yeah, so kind of in the ground still. It's dug up, but it's I guess still technically in the ground. What else have we got? 1,500-year-old pipes. Anyone for?
Oh, what, the ones in China? No, those are older, aren't they?
Well,
okay.
They're Madonna's pipes.
China, yeah. Madonna's pipes. So, a cave near the Mount Balgaron in China contained pipes leading to a nearby lake. They were dated by the Beijing Institute of Geology to about 150,000 years ago.
I was going to say,
Brian Dunning of Skeptoid.com.
Oh yeah, by the way, news update from Skeptoid. They didn't get back. No.
Have they not? Oh wait, is that the guy you sent the email about the
cars?
The leveling of the city?
I messaged him on Twitter saying, "Can you tell me a bit more about the regrading efforts of every city in the 1850?"
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
wonder if
because
he'll ever
horses
reply.
can't get up hill. What was it he said? Horses can't
No,
get up
cars.
hills, weren't it?
Cars can't get up hills.
Cars
so
can't
you
get
see,
up hills.
Yeah.
Horses can quite easily.
yeah. Well, you see, you know, it's just like in 1850 there might have been like 6 cars in the world, so we got to like regrade every city in the world at the same time.
Cars didn't really come into like mass production until like 1900s, right? Like.
And even then,
Well, you had that shit. You had that weird shit with a dude with a flag that walked in front, didn't you?
Even then, it's like it's all in a good saying. Oh yes, they regraded cities, but I happen to have it on good authority that cars weren't just in the cities; they were also in the country. And in the country, you know, people didn't. No, they didn't come back to me.
Oh.
But anyway, talk more about the weird iron pipes which
Yes.
are in China underneath the pyramid, which the Chinese won't let people.
Xinhao reported that the pipes were
Oh,
analysed.
I'm thirsty. I'd like a Xinhao.
Yes, the local smeltery and 8%
Well, I'm drinking
of
the
the
Lucky
material
Butter.
could not be identified. So we have 92% pipes. Zhen Zhidong, a geology research fellow from the China Earthquake Administration, told state-run newspaper The People's Daily in 2007 some of the pipes were found to be highly radioactive. Zhang Zhedong said iron-rich magma may have risen from deep in the earth, bringing the iron into fissures where it have solidified into tubes. Although he admitted there is indeed something mysterious about these pipes, he cited the radioactivity as an extreme of the strange qualities of the pipe. There we are.
It's just a naturally occurring nuclear power plant from 150,000 years ago, which just so happens to be in the shape of a pyramid, which the Chinese won't open for tourism or archaeological research.
Nothing to see here, bro.
Yeah, so
exactly.
when your dad tells you pipes don't grow on trees, you tell them, well, actually, no, they grow in the ground.
Speaking of pipes, I've just looked into the Discord and I've noticed that 9/11 was an inside job.
What?
What?
No. Hillary Clinton said
the picture you put in there, Hobbit, with the airplane.
What? I put a picture with an airplane?
Not describing on a family show.
What did I post into the Discord? Where did I post this? In Backchat?
The Grub and Glory Discord.
Oh, Grub and Glory. Let's have a look. Is it in general?
Doodling pad.
Doodling pad. Let's have a look at that.
I'm curious.
Right, yeah. That has evidence sort of lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I'm not describing that for a family show, so you lot are going to have to guess what that picture is.
Can I? Mark, look! There's a plane in Manunu!
There's a plane in Manunu! What's going on? That's as close as you'll get to a description.
Yeah. We're very professional here at Fortean Words.
Family show. Don't say fuck up.
Lucky there's a family show.
Yeah. So you
lucky there's
Fraser?
A man who scribes all the things that go on.
Buried in the ground. 1.8 billion year old nuclear reactor, potentially.
Just a coincidence, bro.
A nuclear reactor.
That's just a strange rock. It's just an odd rock formation. What are you talking about?
Right. Okay. So we've got the nuclear
naturally occurring nuclear reactor
at Okio, the Gabon Republic. Right. You ever heard of the fucking Gabon Republic? What is this?
I've known the Gabon.
Is it the Melchizedek Republic's new fucking thing, is it?
Okio, the Gabon Republic.
Okio.
In 1972, a French factory imported uranium ore from Okio in Africa's Gabon Republic.
Yeah.
Is this where Planet of the Apes is? The uranium had already been extracted.
No, you bastards! You ruined it all.
You blew it up.
Yeah, fucking. I haven't watched that in years. That film is good.
That is
a decent ending, isn't it?
You blew it up.
Oh fuck, Hobbit! It's bordered by Equatorial Guinea. You were talking about that the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, that was the thing. It was just like, hey, there's this island off of Africa, and it's like it's part of Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, so they found this site of origin to have apparently.
So, if you want to know,
functioned as a
Fraser,
large-
Gabon is a country on the west coast of Central Africa, located on the equator. It's bordered by Equatorial Guinea to the northwest, Cameroon to the north, the Republic of Congo on the east and south, and the Gulf of Guinea to the west. It has an area of nearly 270,000 square kilometres, which is 100,000 square miles, and its population is estimated at 2.3 million people.
Are they all Gabon?
There are coastal plains, mountains, the Crystal Mountains, and the Chalu Massif in the centre, and a savanna in the east.
Also known as the Chalu Massif.
But Gabon's a monkey, right?
Gained independence from
You're
France
thinking
in
of Brabants.
1960.
No, I'm sure a Gabon is a monkey.
A Gaboon.
Okay.
Gabon is an enemy. Gabon is the enemy in a video game, Yoshi's Story.
Oh, so that's where it was.
That's where
Mario.
you know it from, Fraser. Yoshi's Story.
I don't even think I played that. I thought Gabon's
How about
monkey.
this? How about this for the history? Pygmy peoples in the area were largely replaced and absorbed by Bantu tribes. That's a funny way of saying eaten, isn't it?
Yes, absorbed into their stomachs.
Yeah. Just peaceful eatings.
Mostly peaceful absorption.
Yeah.
So with the Thing, he peacefully absorbed all those people in the Antarctica.
Yeah. Mostly peaceful absorption. Anyway,
Okay, so
carry on.
Right, so they found the site of origin to have apparently functioned as a large-scale nuclear reactor that came into being 8 billion years ago, and was in operation for some 500,000
hold on,
years.
Fraser. I've got to interrupt you again because Jojo Gisborne said, "Are you thinking of a gibbon, which is a monkey?" Which is also making me think of. Do you remember the Goodies? Do the funky gibbon.
Gibbon,
Do you remember that one? The funky gibbon.
The gibbon with a ribbon.
The figure.
I mean, all we do is change one letter, and it is the Gibbon Republic, isn't it? Fucking.
That gives me that pygmy republic.
So, Dr. Glenn T. Seaborg, former head of the United States Atomic Energy Commission and Nobel Prize winner for his work in synthesis of heavy elements, explained why he believes it wasn't a natural phenomenon and thus be man-made nuclear reactor. For uranium to burn in a reaction, very precise conditions are needed. The water must be extremely pure, for one, much purer than exists naturally. The material U-235 is necessary for nuclear fission to occur. It is one of the isotopes found naturally in uranium. Several specialists in reactor engineering have said they believe uranium in Okio could not have been rich enough U-235 for reaction to take place naturally.
Oh, because there was an ancient nuclear reactor in Africa.
Yes.
In addition to that, it's like there's ruins of a village that borders Pakistan and India, and all of the buildings and stuff, they show signs of vitrification, and they're radioactive.
I've got another one as well.
One of those funny little coincidences.
You remember in 2016 when Trump said we're going to build the Great Wall of America? Well, the Great Wall already existed. He was just rebuilding it. You see.
Oh, you're talking about Rockwall?
I'm talking. Yeah, we're talking about a historic photo found in Rockwall. Yep, correct. You're right.
Yeah, Rockwall's interesting.
In 1852, in what is now known as Rockwall Cove, Texas, farmers digging a well discovered what appeared to be an ancient rock wall, estimated to be some 200,000 to 400,000 years old. Some say it's a natural formation, while others say it's clearly man-made. Dr. John Gleesman at the University of Texas in Dallas tested the rocks as part of a History Channel documentary. He found they were all magnetized the same way, suggesting they formed where they were and were not moved to the site from elsewhere, but some remain unconvinced by the single TV show test and ask for further studies. Geologist James Shelton and Harvard-trained architect John Lindsay have noted elements that seem to be of architectural design, including archways, inlaid portals, and square openings that resemble windows. So, Great Wall of Texas, or buildings by the sound of it. It's got windows and doors.
Oh,
Interesting. So yeah, that's my few contributions of things buried in the ground.
How about this one then? I don't think this was buried because they don't say about archaeological site. Okay, the remains of what seems to have been a pleasant village were discovered on the sunny west bank of the Danube River in 1965 at the archaeological site now named Lepenski Vir in Yugoslavia. So God knows where that is now. The ancient community perched on a sheltered horseshoe-shaped ledge at a bend in the river has no close parallel in European prehistory. For this tiny settlement was a model of community planning with a fan-like arrangement of houses and streets. It also had a central marketplace and a sanctuary with carefully positioned stone sculptures of remarkable diversity and artistry. The town
Diversity.
Yeah, the town.
That's pretty much been ruined.
Yeah, you can't say that anymore, can you? It shows how old this book is. The town evinced, Hobbit. What does evinced mean? You looked it up the other earlier.
Evinced means shown clearly. So evinced and evidence are similar words. Yeah, show or demonstrate clearly.
The town evinced an architectural awareness too, with structures of trapezoidal shape and a geometric orderliness throughout. Also impressive is the technology displayed in the construction of the floors, which were finished with a mortar. Made by baking local limestone and adding water, gravel and sand, the substance was poured over the stone foundations, smoothed and often polished. Lepenski Vir has been a revelation to archaeologists who have dated the community back to about 5,800 BC. Cutting down through the layers of foundations to the first settlement, they discovered the design of the village and the methods of construction had been well worked out early in its long history and had remained almost unchanged. Evidence that this culture had risen suddenly and spontaneously. In the view of archaeologists, Lepenski Vir stands out in European prehistory for its monumental sculptures and for its organisation of social, economic and religious life. Prior to these finds...
Can you pronounce Lepenski Vir as V would do it?
I don't know. Lepenski Vir!
Lepenski Vir?
Lepenski Vir? That sounds more like... That's more like Borat.
Yes,
are you saying that V is Borat?
I am saying they all talk like that.
Yes, Shemesh. Prior to these finds, it is assumed that the cultural development of the Neolithic Europe had depended upon infusions of the ideas from the Near East. But Lepenski Vir shows an independent flowering of creative activity that challenges traditional views.
Does the creative flowering show using your daughter as prostitutes?
Well, they had a proper community there. It does make you wonder whether the ancient astronaut stuff is actually true. Because if they completely independent of everyone else, just rose up, made this fucking place and sorted this shit out, maybe they were ancient astronauts or something.
Oh, I was going to say, is it like when... come on, brain, you almost had it there. Yeah, Mesoamerican Neolithic carvings of astronauts, including astronauts that hold a carry bag full of their oxygen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's these ancient carvings of astronauts showing their helmets and they're carrying these bags. And it's that's in
helmets.
Yeah, well, you
the ones
if you,
yeah, not the other helmets.
Oh, come on, you know what I'm on about.
I know, I'm messing around, you Hobbit.
I know. It's I don't know how to better explain it. It's just yeah. Well, I suppose I could show you a picture of these things.
The goldfish bowl on their head.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, there's plenty of statues. Actually, some of the Mesoamerican the best.
Yeah, there's like the weird shit with like the mobile phone glyphs, isn't there, and things like that.
Yeah. The hieroglyphs with a helicopter and submarine shit. Yeah.
That's just normal, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
But
it's just an alphabetical letter.
It's just a coincidence that there's hieroglyphs of computers and Apache helicopters and light bulbs and such.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the future. We have to go back past.
Or maybe like the future will be our language becomes like hieroglyphs because
Memes.
just use
speaks in memes.
Well, I was going to say Zoomers. They use emojis to communicate instead of words because they're thick.
Hieroglyphs.
Yeah, maybe we're going backwards. Yeah, we're going backwards in pictures.
And the hieroglyphs will be confusing unless there's a Rosetta Stone to say that, like, smiling crying face emoji with aubergine means.
The future is literally just poo emojis. Fucking.
Yeah, but what about like the aubergine laughing, crying emotion cowboy? And you're like a serious like archaeologist, and you're trying to Rosetta Stone this stuff, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, we believe these, but yeah, yeah, okay then, Mr. American." And you're there trying to be a serious archaeologist, and be like, "Mate, you're just looking at pictures of an ancient shitpost."
What about? Did you want to do about the? What's it called? The cocknose stone, is it?
Yeah. So there was this show called Bo Selector.
Yeah.
And then when Keith Woods started becoming
Keith Woods.
Yeah.
Keith Woods. Keith Woods. No.
When he was starting to become less funny, he'd be like, "I know. I'll do the last series of Bo Selector in the United States, and I'll call it Bo in the USA." And during that time,
I'll be Keith Lemon because Keith Lemon is not funny at all.
That's right. So Keith Woods is there, and he's got this puppet called Cocknose, and he does this creepy thing with Cocknose's nose where he kisses it, and that's part of the joke, you see, because it's like. Average Marion keeps Craig the builder from season 1 of Big Brother in his closet. He keeps him there chained up. So yeah.
I once bought a pair of trousers off of Craig the builder.
I thought he was in B&Q.
No, I was at a
home base.
I was at a trade fair, electrical trade fair, and he was there.
Oh, okay.
Sold me a pair of trousers.
Oh, did he? I saw you. Hey, I've been let out of the closet.
I said, Craig, the legs are a bit long. Can you go past? Oh yeah, I'll do that for you. Like, there you go. That was it.
And do it before you go back and have Marion's closet.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my brush with celebrity.
Your brush with fame.
Yeah. So anyway, what's the cocknose stone?
Well, you tell me. You're the one showing me about Cocknose.
I thought you were going to talk about it. Tell me about it. I thought you knew about it.
Is that the one with a jet airplane going inside the Nunu?
What is it with all these mysterious? No, I'm not going to read them.
Mysterious objects going in Nunus.
I can't stand that kind of editorialism. So, what is it with all these mysterious stones? No, you're not a fucking youth trying to talk to me. You're a journalist. Now stop being a bell end.
So, what is it with my inability to talk like a normal human being in journalism? Is there some sort of correlation between the two?
Fellow children. Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, audience. I'm desperately trying to build some rapport with, but failing miserably.
The so-called cocknose stone. Is it cocknose stone or is it cocknose stone?
Oh, I love your cocknose. Let me give it a kiss. No, Avid, I don't like it.
Well, the cocknose stone measures 43 feet by 26 feet. That's 13 by 8 meters for French people in it. And
here's an interdimensional lizard being Mr. Normal saying, "Oh, actually, Avid Marion's Lee Francis."
He's not. He's Keith Lemon. I think that really is him, Keith Lemon. And contains swirling patterns known as cup and ring marks that are also been identified at prehistoric sites in other parts of the world. The slab may have been an example of ancient artwork, according to Kenny Brophy. Yeah, Brophy. I'm totally Brophy.
Oh, that's why it's called Brophy. Because I just later on in the thing, I missed that first part.
Oh, okay.
And Brophy states, I'm like, Brophy? What sort of name is Brophy?
Yeah. Kenny Brophy, dude. He's an archaeologist and a senior lecturer and all-round dude at the University of Glasgow.
Dude.
Does he hang out with Seth Rogen and go, dude, Brophy?
We do.
Dude, where's my archaeology? Dude, where's my chisel?
Dude,
I think Seth Rogen should get like an award for having a laugh more annoying than Beavis.
He sounds like he's having sex.
Is that what he sounds like when he's grunting over Sarah? He's grunting over Sarah Silverman, and it's like, oh, it's going to be another Holocaust in here.
Yeah. I believe, yeah, it probably is. I believe the
Do you know what the weirdest thing about Sarah Silverman is? And it probably isn't, but it's the one thing I got to say it right. So Louis C.K., which was former comedian, now part-time masturbator, what he would like doing before going on the show.
He was quite a lot of the time masturbator. That's what he got in trouble for, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
can I just wank off in this pot plant while you take your clothes off? When that is bit.
He would be in the dressing room with Sarah Silverman and be like, can I masturbate? And sometimes Sarah was like, hell yeah. But then other times she's like, ooh, no, gross. And like, Sarah, you're giving him mixed messages. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. A serial masturbator, you need to be quite clear with them. Stop it. And then you just throw a bucket of water on them or something, don't you?
Yeah. Unless they're into that sort of thing.
Researchers who studied the Concho stone. What?
Oh,
fuck's sake.
Concho.
They call it the Concho stone later on. Jesus fucking Christ. What is wrong with journalists?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, because it's like, yeah, why do you keep calling it
Concho stone? In the 1930s, believed the stone's inscriptions may have been linked to astronomical phenomena like eclipses, but Brophy doesn't think that's the case. He and his team of dudes are currently studying the stone more closely to understand how prehistoric people might have used it, dude.
Yeah, dude. Stone, bro.
Dude, bro. Use the rock, dude.
Stone, dude.
How did they use this rock, dude?
Do you know about the underwater cairn? Do you know about this one?
Where you bury underwater burials?
Yeah.
In 2003, scientists in Israel discovered an enormous stone structure beneath the Sea of Galilee. The monument, which is made up of many giant stones placed on top of one another, weighs an estimated 60,000 tons. Heavier than most warships, and rises nearly 32 feet high. Scientists who found the underwater... Scientists, or, divers, as most people call them. The scientists who found this underwater rock pile, or cairn, have no idea what it may have been used for, though cairns in other parts of the world are traditionally marked burials, according to the researchers.
Isn't that part of Australia? Cairns?
Don't know. Other huge rock structures are located nearby, though none of these known structures are underwater. It's possible that rising sea levels submerged what was once a land-based cairn. The research, is what they were using too many. They were driving around too much, were they?
Did they leave the fridge light on?
Yeah, something like Yitzhak Paz, one of the Israel.
Hello, my name Yitzhak Paz. That a real name?
Yitzhak Paz, Israel Antiques Authority. Throw the Jew down the well.
Hey, is he like the Israeli version of David Dickinson?
Probably.
Hi, I'm Yitzhak Paz. It's time for Cash and Attic. Oh, we found a biro pad in here. Well, how did that get there? Never mind. Shut it down.
Well, he works for the Israel Antiques Authority and Ben Gurion University. He's a busy man. Believes this aquatic monument could date back more than 4,000 years. It may be the remains of some kind of fortified settlement, Paz told Live Science in 2013.
Oh.
Have you ever been to the Superhenge? Super Henge, Hobbit?
No, because I didn't know it existed at the time. I went in to Stonehenge in 2011.
And now for the motherlode of its mysterious stones, meet Superhenge, a massive stone monument located just 2 miles, 3.2 kilometres, from Stonehenge in the UK.
Be there.
Superhenge, super. The huge monument, which is made up of a collection of stone monoliths, was unearthed in 2015. Archaeologists found the monoliths beneath the bank of Durrington Walls, a grass-covered circular embankment. This Superhenge was probably part of a huge Neolithic monument of some sort, according to researchers. So they've researched it and they've said it's part of a huge Neolithic monument of some sort.
Some sort, you know.
They've researched it. They've researched it, Hobbit.
The details aren't important. Look, it's some sort of Neolithic monument of some sort.
After much research, they've decided it's some sort of Neolithic monument.
Yeah, probably. You know, some sort of. I don't know.
Archaeologists aren't sure of the stone's original purpose, but they believe the 15-foot tall slabs once stood upright before they were pushed over 4,500 years ago. A giant monument stands at the site of a natural depression near the Avon River, and it's possible the stones once helped form a C-shaped arena where springs and a valley led down to the river.
Springs and a valley. Oh,
down the valley.
Valley.
Right. So
in the valley, boy.
I need to go for another pee. It's crazy. Did you want to have a look through the highlights of the list first when I put in 10 odd archaeological finds? I wouldn't do all of them because some of them seem a bit gash.
Do you want to do one, Fraser?
Yeah, go on. Which one is it? Okay.
We'll have to both find it, won't we?
Oh, okay. Do we get to pick? Should we do a random one? 10?
Yeah, just do, you know, whatever takes your fancy.
Number 3.
There's a plane in my Number
3, random number picker. Giants of North America. Ooh. This is not a real photo. Okay. It does not support the Giants of North America discoveries below. We just like the photograph. Editorial. Thanks, Ed. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. In the last few centuries, many strange archaeological discoveries have been made in America. It seems that people are unearthing extremely unusual giant human remains. Many documented accounts of findings of giant human remains are classified as any bones representative of a person between 7 and 12 feet in stature. A human skeleton measuring 12 feet tall was unearthed at Lompoc Rancho, California in 1833 by soldiers digging in a pit for a powder magazine. The specimen had a double row of teeth. It's a Nephilim. And was surrounded by numerous stone axes, probably because it got fucking its head caved in, because it's a Nephilim. Carved shells and a proprietary block. Porphyry block. With abstruse symbols associated with it. I'd love to know what these symbols are. In 1856, a decaying human skeleton measuring 10 feet 9 inches tall was unearthed by laborers plowing a vineyard in what is now Western Virginia, a mound discovered near Toledo, Ohio. In 1859, held 20 skeletons, and they were seated with facing east, with jaws and teeth twice as large as those of present-day people. Wow. 1828, a farmer digging a pit buried trash near waterproof. Really? Did you really call the town Waterproof, Louisiana? Are you serious?
I love some of the names of these American towns. They're really fucked up, aren't they?
Louisiana.
There's names like some of the names are really like just
the irony. Waterproof Louisiana.
Yeah, or Good Springs or Bad Rock or Rockwall.
Yeah, unearthed A 9-foot,
Hey,
11-inch tall skeleton.
Just briefly. Hang
Yeah.
on. Oh, I thought I heard someone talk in the background like a radio or something.
No,
That's just the Akashic record.
that's just the voices in your head, Hobbit.
No, it's the voices in the game. There's a radio in the distance.
Okay, so the list of these discoveries is quite extensive, and many claims have been made about the origin of giant bones, usually stating and ending with Sasquatch. What? What? Others have suggested an ancient race of giant humans. In 1947, a strange article posted by a Nevada state newspaper titled Atlantis in Colorado River Desert. The article discussed an incredible archaeological discovery of 32 underground caves within a 180 square mile radius. The report indicated that the caves were discovered close to the Nevada and California border. The remains of ancient, strangely accustomed 8 to 9 foot giants were inside. They had been laid to rest wearing the skins of unknown animals similar to sheepskins fashioned jackets, with pants described as prehistoric suits. The same burial place had been cited 10 to 15 years earlier by another man who supposedly made a deal with the Smithsonian. Claims have been made that the evidence of his find was stolen and covered up by Darwinian scientists to protect the theory of evolution. Now, why would they want to do that? Caves
No
were
reason.
reported to have been discovered by Dr. F. Bruce Russell. He initially described the finding of the burial place of a tribal hierarchy. He felt that some unknown catastrophe had driven these beings into the caves. All of the implements of their civilization were there, including household utensils and stoves. Well-preserved remains of dinosaurs, saber-toothed tigers, imperial elephants, and other extinct beasts were found. No physical archaeological evidence of these claims have ever been displayed. Photo. If I click on this link. Oh wow, I've actually got a photo of it. Right? Oh, is it? Oh, is it a fake?
Is it an artist depiction?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this weird shit. Yeah, I don't know if these are real. It's like, are they real or are they fake?
Nobody knows.
I'll tell you what, if you want something interesting, just search Fortean on Twitter. There's some really good stuff in it. So there's cattle mutilations as a government black op.
Oh yeah, because I mean we did a 3-part special on the stuff there.
Yeah, I wish
completely exsanguinated.
Oh, Fraser, it was
Was it?
It was a bit.
Well, that's why I insisted we keep doing it, because I found it pretty grim as well. But I was just like,
we found
it needs to be
there's
done.
a Wikipedia page where we looked at it, and there was actual FBI documents. So we went through the FBI documents on Wikipedia
About cattle mutilation.
Well, no, the FBI documents on FBI.gov.
Yeah,
we got the PDFs.
I mean,
we got the documents. We got the documents.
Or fucking want to shut it down and fucking hear the kidney inside your ribs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gross, isn't it? But cattle mutilation is gross. So what is he saying here?
Weird as well.
As for Deputy Simmons, he was left facing the helicopter. The guy who got out of the Huey was about 6'2", remarkably good looking, light hair and blue eyes. Okay, Deputy Simmons, calm it down. I asked to see some identification. He said, I have none. I looked back at the helicopters. They were dark, either dark green or black. No identifying markings at all. Didn't even have a helmet. There weren't any dog tags. The moment I touched that man, the 2 other helicopters lifted off the ground and one spread left, one spread right and hovered. I'm a Vietnam vet, I interpreted this as a gun pass. If I attempted to physically arrest that man, they'd kill me right there with the same mental attitude as the pilot that ran the patrol car off the highway. Simmons did some fast thinking. I told him about the mutilations in Rich County, how he'd been spotted there, how he had riders out in all 3 counties with high-powered rifles. That sooner or later we get a shot at his helicopter and we intend to bring you down, sir, if this type of mutilation doesn't stop. And he looked at me and smiled a bit, and then he said, may I go? And I had nothing to hold him on, and like I say, I wasn't holding the high card in that deal, so I said, yeah. He got back into the helicopter and they flew off.
It's just a bit unusual.
In a separate interview, Sheriff Carter states that right on the bottom door of the helicopter you could see property of US Army and that little insignia they all have on their equipment. So there you go.
I don't think it was ever mentioned in the A-Team, was it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe that's what it
I
was.
don't
They got busted for that.
If you can find them and you need a cow mutilated, maybe you can contact the A-Team.
What else? I bet there was one further up. What was this one? Where he said... as Gordon Creighton, Alan Greenfield, and other scholars have suggested, it may be that all mythology, demonology, vampire legends, leprechaun stories, etc., are actually based upon earlier flaps and have merely been coloured and distorted by human interpretation of these events. John Keel wrote that. John Keel's the guy who wrote about Mothman.
Not to be confused with John Peel.
Yeah, who touched the 13-year-old
girl.
Who
did a lot of music on the thing, on the radio.
14-year-old girl.
When?
There's a story here. Thrift store shopper unscored unpublished photo of JFK's motorcade just before the assassination.
Wait, is that like recently or?
I don't know. Do you want me to get the story up? No, I don't want it. I don't want your bullshit. George Rebels was thrift shopping in Ferris, Texas, when he thought he had scored a CD copy of Bachman Turner Overdrive's The Anthology. When he opened the case much later, he found someone's Polaroid of John F. Kennedy's Jr. riding in a convertible in a motorcade. The Polaroid was dated 11/22/63, the day that JFK was assassinated in Dallas. So he says the photo appears to have been snapped as the motorcade left Love Field, a good distance from the location. So nothing burger, a good distance from the assassination. So yeah, absolutely nothing story.
Nothing burgers are my favourite kind of burger.
Yeah. I think that's about it I found from that. What's this one then? Scientists discover superconducting material that could bring total revolution in energy and electronics. Is this what we were talking about the other? Do you remember the fucking rocks that we found? That I found.
You found some rocks in your garden?
I found a picture. No, I found a picture of it. The rocks that have got electricity in them.
Are you talking about piezoelectricity or something else?
I don't know. They're finding these rocks in. I think it's like Pakistan or something that got electricity in them.
Pakistan.
In Pakistan.
I don't remember this story because that sounds like something I would have paid attention to.
Telegram somewhere.
Magic Pakistani rocks. I do remember doing a few years ago about how
these rocks are like full of electricity, and when you touch them together, they spark.
That's piezoelectricity. Yeah, quartz will do that.
Mozzarella.
Yeah.
Mozzarella's not a rock.
No.
Scientists have discovered a new material that could be set to change the entire world. Researchers say they've created a superconducting material that works at both a temperature and pressure low enough to actually use it in practical situations. It reaches a breakthrough that scientists have been chasing for more than a century in making a material that is able to transmit electricity without resistance and pass magnetic fields around the material. Its discovery could lead to power grids that are able to seamlessly transmit energy, saving up to 200 million megawatt hours that is currently lost to resistance.
Oh, you mean like Tesla was
something like that?
Oh,
yeah, that's probably what it is.
Tesla.
Guys, we discovered this really breakthrough thing, except it came from Tesla 100 years ago.
Well, Tesla's thing was you don't need to transport it on wires, or in the case of Edison saying, well, I don't want to transport on wires either.
Edison wanted to do it via DC, so basically you'd have fucking 50 to 100 mil fucking cables coming into your house, wouldn't you?
No, because he didn't want to transport it over wires. Edison's thing was like, I've got these nickel iron batteries, knife batteries, and he wanted to like sell you a battery full of electricity. Then you come and like when it's used up,
Charge
you
it.
go. No, you don't charge it. You go back to the place you bought the battery from to buy another battery. So he
Wait,
wanted to just
you do
sell
that today?
people. Yeah, basically, and then Tesla said, "No, you don't need to do this like selling batteries like a commodity in the shop. You can just transmit the electricity over wires, and if you do it with alternating
Yeah, but
current,
what if I
it,
smeared you with calling being electric killed the electric chair when being Westinghouse? How about if I did that?" said Edison.
yeah, and Edison was a dick, and but anyway, do you want to know what's ironic about that?
Nice career you've got there, Tesla. Be shame if someone ruined it by serving you about 4,000, but by about 400 frivolous lawsuits.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to know what's ironic about that? I'll tell you.
What?
Yeah. Artificial alternating current is good for long distance transmission of electricity, except when it's really long distances. Then you want to use direct current, or specifically, if you use high voltage direct current, the transmission losses are less than if you did it high voltage alternating current, because direct current doesn't alternate, so it doesn't give off waves, which then cause induction losses. You know about HVDC lines?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, ironically enough, HVDC could be the future of energy transmission. Obviously, not to your house. Although I'd still argue that once you got the AC in your house, there ought to be a low voltage DC supply. So you've got like a good efficient switch mode power supply. The government can mandate saying it's got to be a minimum of this specification. And my dad said that the voltage ought to be 48 volts. And I said, well, wouldn't 12 volts be more use? And he says, no, I know what you're on about. And he said, arguably 5 volts is more use because of USB. But 48 volts is the highest voltage you can have whilst it's still being safe. And then anything which needs a lower DC voltage, like computers and chargers, what have you, they'll have a DC to DC converter in them. But, welcome to Fortean Words, where we talk about domestic wiring installations, and our Hobbit thinks there ought to be a local DC. No, the thing is, everybody, I would say nearly, no, everybody in every household are using DC electronics. Your television, your microwave, your fridge. Actually, is the fridge still alternating current? You've got a compressor, that could be AC. The control circuitry is probably DC though. But every household needs DC power, simple as. So it makes sense, rather than having all these wall warts and all these inefficient DC converters, just have one DC converter and have a separate 48 volt DC line in your house.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Why?
So, because wouldn't it be better to have like an efficient DC supply in everybody's house rather than all these inefficient things?
Well, you could have that quite easily with solar panels. Solar panels.
No.
Solar panels are DC.
Yeah, but then they use sine wave inverters so that they're AC. So they actually lose some efficiency because they go AC and then you still need.
I've just seen one of Ian's posts. It's the Shannon Matthews collector's plate to commemorate the conviction of Dewsbury slob Karen Matthews for abducting her own daughter from the Dangleberry Mint is proud to present this exquisite plate. That was quite fun. I thought it was funny anyway.
I suppose it's not that exciting, but there probably will some sort of like move to it in the future. I know in California they've stipulated that all modern computers should only use like their power supply should only be 12 volts. and then you'd have DC converters in them to give the other voltages computers use. The idea being that then if your power supplies are only giving 12 volts and not 5 and 3.3, they can be a lot more efficient. Actually, I don't know if they can be a lot more efficient, but that seems to be the goal
I think
of
they
it.
would be more efficient, Hobbit, because I think.
Well, there's an idea.
Doesn't AC travel along longer wires better?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like inside your house. It doesn't matter if you've got like a 20-meter run of DC 48 volts.
Are you suggesting that basically there's an inverter instead of like a consumer unit, you'd have an inverter, which then
no, I'd say with the consumer unit as well, your distribution box.
That would increase safety as well, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't have 200.
Yeah, so in your distribution box, you've got a power supply, and you could do various units like 3 kilowatt units, or if you're like a computer enthusiast, you can have a 6 kilowatt unit or even bigger. And so, you might be like a family where you got like a son and the dad both have a gaming PC, so you'd want like a 6 kilowatt unit, and it would just be more efficient to do it that way. Plus, you could also get rid of all the power supply noise, and you could keep it in just like this, in the the fuse box, as people call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope we get to see 48. Now, what plug would you like to see for the 48 DC supply? And why should it be the IEC connector? Or would that get confusing?
You like an IEC connector, do you, Hobbit?
I do like IEC connectors, and if you go on building sites, there's those IEC connectors, and they're color coded. So if you're dealing with proper British mains, 230 volts.
They're actually making Methgator, are they?
What?
Oh.
Coming soon from the company behind Sharknado, Attack of the Methgator.
Is that just to like say, Cocaine Bear's popular, let's do a parody of it?
Methgator. Yeah, let's go. Methgator. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, so somebody else was talking about Cocaine Bear. He went to see it with his dad, and he was like, "Yeah, it was pretty good."
Yeah, it's like I said. It
was a fun film.
Yeah. Oh, apparently Mexican president says they've caught an elf.
Yeah, did you see the video footage of it?
No, let's see it. Where is it?
Go on, we're in Unexplained Pistories territory. That's definitely Unexplained Pistories.
Oh, we're going to do some it's about time for Unexplained Pistories.
Guys, it's some sort of bug. It's a kind of bug. I like the idea that all Mexicans, like, they can't differentiate any aliens to them. It's just like, it's some sort of bug. Imagine like
it's a bug.
you know, like, imagine Starship Troopers and Rico's Mexican. It's like, I don't know, it's some sort of bug. It's afraid, bro.
It's afraid, bro. The gringos.
Oh, fucking hell. Hey. Mystery surrounds exotic cat that has tested positive for cocaine.
I'm from Tijuana, and I say kill all them bugs.
I bet you got to find it because it's not in Unexplained Mysteries.
What? The I'm from Mexico, and I say kill them all.
Yeah.
The elf on the Mexican cocaine shelf.
What the fuck? Huge bug found outside Walmart turns out to be rare Jurassic era insect.
Yeah, I saw this bug outside Walmart.
I was walking into Walmart to get milk, and I saw this huge insect on the side of the building. I thought it looked interesting, so I put put it in my hand and did the rest of my shopping with it between my fingers. Got it home, mounted it, and promptly forgot about it for almost a decade. While teaching an online biodiversity course, however, Skvala and his students...
Easy for you to say.
Skvala, Skvala. Skvala. Is that Skvala?
Jasiksky.
Skvala. I think it might be Swedish. No?
Skvala. Realised the insect he found was actually a rare Jurassic era species known as a giant lacewing.
Oh. So how much is one of those worth then?
So does that mean fucking Walmart is from the prehistoric, like Jurassic era?
How about this one? Tiny insect uses its butt to shoot pea droplets at super fast speeds.
There's a type of, I think it's either a lobster or something, and the way it hunts fish is it squirts water out of its claws really fast. And it stuns fish, because there's cavitation, so the water is superheated because it cavitates.
What, so it cooks it then, does it?
Yeah.
Just enough to stun it, and then it comes in and kills it with it, gives it a pinch with the claws, and then it's a bug, and it's taken I can't do Mexican. Hey Holmes essay, it's a bug.
Now a team of researchers studying a type of cicada known as the glassy winged sharpshooter have discovered this unassuming insect has a rather novel trick up its sleeve. Measuring a mere 1.2 centimetres in length, the insect's diet consists of 95% water and 5% nutrients, meaning that it needs to urinate the equivalent of 300 times its own body weight every day. Impressively, it does.
So, in other words, it's like me on a Friday night outside a pub.
Impressively, it does this by excreting single droplets and then catapulting them large distances at remarkable speeds. Using a
so, in other words, it's like me saying, "Hey, I bet I can piss over this wall."
Yeah.
Hey, check out this bug.
Why are you? What is this bug thing, Hobbit?
I just like Mexicans see everything as a bug.
I found it. Hold on.
You found a bug?
No, I found the
dude. Check out this bug.
As long as you got your elf, that's the main thing, isn't it, Hobbit?
That's it. That's right.
Right then. So let's fire up. What the fuck is Chrome?
Hey, check out this bug. I found it in a tree.
Hobbit, what the fucking hell are you on about?
That ain't a bug. That's an elf. Yeah, that's a type of bug.
What in this video, is it?
Mexicans just.
There's no video on it. Man. There's no video, just a picture.
I'll show us a picture at least.
Check out this picture of a bug.
Yeah, show it. You should be able to see it now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So anyway, President of Mexico posts a bizarre photo of mythical elf-like true creature.
Hey, yeah, I seen this picture of, I think it's some kind of bug.
Has anyone said to him, as long as you've got your elf, that's the main thing? In a bizarre tweet on February 25th, Lopez Obrador, which is a real name apparently.
Hello, my name is Lopez. I am a presidente.
Who is certainly no stranger to this nearly said ethnicity then. Eccentricity. Posted up on what he seemingly believed was genuine evidence of a mythical creature. His post included two images, one of a strange creature in a tree he claimed had been captured on camera by an engineer 3 days earlier, and a second of a Mayan sculpture. The creature he so is he
basically just saying, hey, you should come to Mexico and buy like my authentic Mexican sculpture, bro. Isn't that Mayan? Yeah, Mexican.
The creature he claimed was an Alex, a type of mischievous elf of Mayan folklore. I share 2 photos of our supervision of the Mayan. So
it's a Mexican leprechaun.
Yeah. So it's a Mexican. Does that make it a Mexican?
A Mexican?
Does that make it a Mexican then, Hobbit?
Oh, Shibidagora! Who have to see my beans?
Chop the refried beans to you.
Who's see my magic beans? I'd like to buy some beans. Would you like to buy some beans? I've got beans. Do you have beans? I've got beans.
Well, that don't look nothing like fucking, what's his name, Legolas, does it?
Yo, I think I've seen a hobbit, dude. No, it's a bug.
How about this one then, Hobbit? 1% of the population cannot mentally visualise anything at all.
What?
Oh, there's another thing, right? Draw a picture of a bottle, and then it's got some water at the bottom of it. Yeah. Imagine a bottle and it's 1/3 full of water, right? It turns out nearly every woman, when you draw the bottle, but now it's at an angle, and they say, now draw the waterline, they just put the waterline as if, like, they don't do it right. They draw the waterline if it's, like, parallel to the bottom of the water. It's like, no, that's not... Water flows. Like, you could literally show them, like, a bottle of water in real life, and, like, when you tilt it, the water tilts with it, but they'll still draw it that way. Another thing is, like, if you ask them to draw a picture of a bicycle from memory, like, they can't do it. And it's like, hang on, I thought women were, like, good when it comes to this. Like, they got an eye for detail with flower arranging and stuff, but it's like, no, can't draw bicycles from memory, can't draw a bottle of water when it's tilted, and also can't visualize anything in their head. Women have no internal monologue. Yeah, women are NPCs. I love my women.
There's even a type of synesthesia in which people's minds run written text on a mental ticker tape. Even though ticker tape or subtitle synesthesia (TTS) was first studied in 1883 by Charles Darwin's cousin Francis Galton, little was known until lately. Study published recently, one of the first to explore this condition in more depth, found that one of the 26 participants with TTS most had additional types of synesthesia, most commonly space-time or number space, where they experienced time or numbers as a location.
What?
Yeah.
That's number one.
There's some variety in how long people had TTS, with 19 of the 26 participants with TTS saying they experienced it since they learned to read or for as long as they can remember, but 3 said it did not start until adolescence. Around 40% of participants had TTS, even in response to animal sounds, and 90% had it as a response to their inner voice. One participant told the researchers how after a few days of hearing a bird singing in his garden, he started seeing a written word in his mind that represented the bird's song. What the fuck?
So you had sheet music for the fucking bird humming?
Yeah. While many adults can imagine written words when listening to speech if asked to do so, many people with TTS are different because of the ease with which it happens. In fact, some cannot stop even when it makes it difficult to follow conversations, when lots of people are talking at once, but the ability to process information from different senses at the same time is often helpful. There is an evolutionary explanation for this.
Go on.
So when our ancestors walked on the African savannah, citation needed, over 100,000 years ago, fast recognition of what they heard or saw was essential. For example, upon hearing a sound coming from the bushes, humans had to quickly decide how to react. More information helps us make the right choice. So if we also saw or smelled an animal in the scrub behind us, we could more easily determine if it was dangerous predator, blah, 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 blah. Binding information from different senses can help us reach faster and more accurate decisions. For example, when listening to speech that is not easily comprehensible, perhaps because of background noise, people better understand what's being said if they see the speaker's mouth move. During the time of COVID restrictions, when masks were mandatory, many people realised how much harder they found it to understand others when they couldn't see their mouth.
And it's completely retarded the learning development and speech development of children.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It turns out the reason babies look at you when you're talking is to mimic the facial, the things what you do with your mouth. Babies mimic and then they eventually figure out speech. Can't do that if you have a fucking mask on your face, which is completely useless. I fucking hate masks.
As is the case with TTS, we can sometimes boost the amount or type of information about. Yeah, but this is 1% of people, so it can't be a
every time you say. Well, what about like colourblindness as a survival trait?
You imagine titties.
You imagine titties
when I say TTS.
No, every time you say TTS. No, every time you say TTS, I imagine speech. Like donate to the TTS.
No, it's ticker tape synesthesia. This one is.
Oh well, yeah, you know that's
weird.
Let's face it.
Ticker tape synesthesia is fucking weird. Like there is no way that is any kind of survival fucking technique.
Yeah,
What the
I
fuck?
don't
Some
understand.
stroke survivors. Oh, this sounds more like it. Some stroke survivors lose their inner speech but can still speak out loud, while others lost overt speech to a stroke, while their inner speech remained intact. Similar case of visual imagery loss have been reported as well. So basically, brain damaged people can't imagine stuff.
Yeah. So what does that say for people that could never imagine stuff?
Yeah.
Oof.
You're
They had
thick.
no brain.
Yeah.
You're thick, and you don't know you are. You're thick, and you don't know you are.
Do you remember all that stuff a while ago during the NPC stuff when people were like,
You.
what? People hear voices in their heads. Do you remember that?
It's like you're thick, and you don't know you're thick. You're thick. You're too thick to know.
Yeah, I think they
I'm
might
saying they're
actually
very
do.
thick.
They did shut that down really fast, didn't they? Fucking see.
Yeah, it was an inconvenient truth, Man Bear Pig.
You seen the glitch in the Matrix as a dead bird is filmed motionless in dead air, in midair?
Please wait. Simulation updating.
Yeah.
Go on then.
You want to do that? Well, it's not much of a story. It's like dead birds seen floating in air.
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
Is
Move
that
along,
is that like
people.
that thing with the planes, right? It's like the planes are just floating in there in the air. You seen that?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah,
You saw that, yeah.
there's quite a few
Wow,
about, aren't there?
Yeah. It's like just hovering, not moving. Oh.
That's just normal, bro. Why you
Yeah, I
got to
I think
question
we
that?
did this last week, but last time. But 19-year-old is youngest ever person to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, we have done that.
But he's in China, so it's probably the lead.
No, it's the safe and effective.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cops issue warning over man dressed as Cookie Monster in California. That would be Biscuit Monster if you're in England.
I've actually heard this story on the political website known as the Hate Bus. So, yeah.
Do you know what the dude's name is, Hobbit?
He's also came up. I think they called him Creepy Elmo or something because
yes, the man behind the mask is 59-year-old Adam Sandler. No, not that one.
yeah, that's it. No relation to other side. But anyway, it turns out he also used to dress up as Elmo and say, "Hey, I'm Elmo and I hate the Jews." Which, yeah. So like the ADL's like we disavow.
Oh, is this why it's a conspiracy-driven Muppet? They won't name what the conspiracy is.
Yeah, they disavow everything that Elmo has said.
Yeah. Wait, the actual guy
Elmo thinks that Adam Sandler is not the guy who plays Elmo.
Not that
the guy
Sandler.
Adam Sandler dresses up as Elmo and Cookie Monster and it's like, Cookie Monster, think 6 million cookies in my ovens is too many. So, you know, Cookie Monster knows a lot about baking cookies.
How long do you think that would take to cook those cookies?
It will take exactly 6 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hold on about it. This is in the comments of another story. Was Marconi the same company that had something like 30 odd employees die in very strange circumstances? 6 employees. Let's have a quick look at this one. I found the link. There's a link. Someone's put the link into it about the great Marconi die-off.
It's a me, Marconi.
Isn't the Marconi? Isn't that Batman? Huh?
So the first death to gain widespread attention and be linked to the theory came in 1986 to 1987. In just about a year, 6 different scientists died in mysterious circumstances, 3 of whom had worked for the Marconi Company, a subsidiary of the defence group General Electric Company. Most deaths were ruled suicides or accidents. One died after driving his car, which had been packed full of petrol containers, into a building. Accident.
It's a me,
Another
Marconi.
one tied a rope to his neck. He tied a rope to his neck and a tree, and then drove off in the car. Sounds like an accident to me. Third died of carbon monoxide poisoning in his garage. That sounds like an accident as well.
They're just coincidental accidents. Look, the scientists are known for being very clumsy and dying by misadventure all the time. There's no conspiracy there whatsoever. Stop peddling your unsubstantiated conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So there you go.
Nothing to see here. Moving on.
Oh, what's this one, Bass? Oh, okay, I've just removed nearly all of the material in the article. I don't have any problem with it in principle, but it's completely unacceptable to tell stories like these without indicating what sources they come from. I'm quite willing to believe that the references say these things, but that isn't enough. You have to cite which references say which thing. So someone's jannied it. That's why the article's so short.
All right. Okay.
The article needs some serious work.
I guess we don't need to know.
Yeah, the details of the conspiracy theory need to be provided. The sources need to be... Where's your sources, bro?
Yeah. Source, citation.
Yeah. There's nothing to see. There is fucking nothing to see here, bro.
Yeah, and you bitch best recognise.
Nothing. Oh, what's this? Oh, shit, there's fucking 404s all over the place with this one. Obviously nothing to see here.
No.
Redacted.
Fucking hell. London. So this is London AP. That's Associated Press, is it? March 30th, scientist David Sands climbed into his car, the trunk packed with tanks of gasoline, and drove in front of a... How is this London AP? And he's talking like a Yank. Drove into the front of a vacant restaurant.
London.
He died in a fireball that incinerated him almost beyond recognition. Fifth British scientist involved in a security-related research to die in mysterious circumstances since August. A sixth scientist has been missing since January. Together, the cases add up to either a series of bizarre coincidences or to a cloak and dagger conspiracy. Fuck, I love stumbling on shit like this accidentally. But even those who suspect a conspiracy don't know where to begin looking for answers, for the facts that link the tragedy is disparate and inconclusive. The government agrees it's odd that all were computer scientists working in the defence field, but has rejected calls for an inquiry. Well, I think the government may know what's going on here then.
Yeah. Some MPs standing up. Yes, we'll look into it, and then he gets a fucking tap on the shoulder. Like,
yeah.
Oh
nah,
no, we're not.
look
No,
into it.
nah.
Do you want a car accident?
Nothing to see here. Exactly.
All the deaths look like suicides, but only 2 have been ruled so ruled officially. In no case has a convincing motive for suicide been made known. Fuck, this is a weird story, isn't it?
What could they be working on that gets them fucking bumped off?
So what we got? The first death was reported on August 5th when Vimal Dajibai, 24, was found in the gorge below Clifton Bridge.
Vimal Dajibai?
Hobbit, there's nothing to see here, though.
Yeah.
The government, will you look into this? No, there's nothing to see here. Marconi officials say he worked for Marconi Underwater Systems at Watford near London as a junior software engineer, checking torpedo guidance systems. It's not known why he travelled to Bristol, 105 miles west of London. On October 28th, Ashad Sharif, a computer systems analyst working for another Marconi unit in London, was found strangled in a park near Bristol. The inquest found he'd tied a rope to a tree, looped the other end around his neck, and drove off in a car at high speed. Yeah.
So I guess like conventional forms of suicide, just like nah, that's not elaborate enough.
Yeah.
No.
I'm surprised nobody's done the actual, super glue their hands to their head, piano wire around their neck, and a noose around their feet.
Yeah.
But the piano wire is shorter than the rope.
No, Hobbit. No.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm just saying.
A tape recording found in his car satisfied Coroner Donald Hawkins that it was a suicide. But again, the question was why Bristol? So these two dudes that work near London have both decided to go near Bristol and top themselves.
Yeah, if you were in Bristol, you'd top yourself too.
Yeah. Hawkins suggested police look for a link with the first death, observing, as James Bond would say, this is past coincidence. Police say they found no link whatsoever.
Wait, James Bond says that?
Apparently. Police say no, there's no link between the 2 blokes from London that work for Marconi that have come to Bristol to top themselves. No link whatsoever.
Okay.
And this is why there's no link, because Sharif, 26, had worked for the same company as Dajibhai in early 1986, but at a different factory and not on underwater research, says Marconi spokesman Abel Haddon.
To me, Marconi.
On January the 8th, Avtar Singh Gida, 26. Hold on, I think I'm...
Wait, are these guys Indian?
Yes.
Unironically, do you think this is like some sort of Shiva death cult?
On January the 8th, Avtar Singh Gida, 26, vanished. A researcher at Loughborough University's electronics department. He was finishing his doctorate in acoustics technology and was
engaged. Do you
engaged...
think this is like the MI6 version of fucking India, like bumping them off?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
traitors to the party or something.
I'm wondering if they're like part of the Thuggies or something like that, because they do human sacrifice in India.
Engaged on an unclassified research contract placed by the Ministry of Defence, according to a ministry spokesman who insisted on anonymity. Like, I don't want to go to Bristol, says Ministry of Defence guy, says ministry spokesman. Singh Gida was last seen testing acoustic equipment at a reservoir near Loughborough. He'd vanished 2 days before his wedding anniversary. Singh
Gida, it reminds me of that joke. You know the one, what you call a lesbian Hindu? Minjita. Yeah.
He vanished 2 days before his wedding anniversary and had already bought his wife a gift. Marconi says Singh Gida and Dajibhai were nodding acquaintances.
Minjita.
While living in the same faculty residence at Loughborough in 1979. Britain, whose nuclear arsenal is submarine-based, is a world leader in undersea warfare technology. Loughborough in northern England is it's Midlands. It's not northern England. Is a major research centre in the field. On January the 4th, computer design expert Richard Pugh...
Yeah, well, you know what Londoners are like.
Well, he's not
anything north of the Watford...
He's not in a thuggy death cult, is he?
But anything north of the Watford Gap is north to them.
Okay. Richard Pugh
found dragons.
Death at his home in the east of London. February 22nd, Peter People. P-E-A-P-E-P-E-L-L.
That's a neat real name.
People.
What's the controversy?
Peter People.
Hello, my name is Peter People. How are you? I am human.
A lecturer at the Royal Military College of Science at Shrivenham, near Swindon, died lying under his car with the engine running and the garage door shut.
So
don't you generally run the hosepipe indoors? You don't lie under the fucking car, do you? I know what I'll do. I'll lie oh fuck no. Carbon monoxide, Hobbit. Is it heavier or lighter than air?
Right. So oxygen, atomic mass 16, carbon monoxide. I think carbon is lighter than air. So let me just check.
I'm just wondering whether he's like a super autist and he's decided that if he lies under his car, it'll get to him quicker.
Yeah. Average molecular mass, monoized atomic mass. What the fuck? I just want carbon monoxide's mass. Fuck's sake! Right, carbon monoxide, also known as powder gas or fire damp. It's molar mass of 28.01 grams per mole. Yeah. So what is the O2? If I just go O2, let's do that. O2 or dioxygen. Right, so dioxygen. Yeah. So I don't get the ground state of O2 is upon. No, I just want the molecular mass of. Molecular mass of dioxygen. I'm pretty sure, like, carbon monoxide is 14 and oxygen is 16. So
is that like super or? So could that potentially be super?
Yeah, carbon monoxide is heavier than air.
So could that potentially be super autism then?
Yeah, a few years ago I did suffer carbon monoxide poisoning in my room, so I went upstairs until my skin stopped being red.
Yeah, cause I'm pretty sure I've heard of people like where they've had
right.
Go on then.
The dioxygen, the O2 in the atmosphere, has got a molecular mass of 32. So that means carbon monoxide's lighter than air. Is it? Let me just have a look at the molecular mass of carbon
Generally, you
monoxide.
run the hose into the car, don't you? If you're going to kill yourself like that.
Yeah, because it's an airtight environment, or airtight enough. Yeah.
So if you're in a garage, potentially it could just run out of the door, couldn't it? Then
you see, this is
laying on the floor. Would laying on the floor do it?
Is this like when Dr. David Kelly was said, "Oh yeah, he committed suicide by taking pills and then he slashed his wrists," and then it's with a blunt knife. Yeah, but also the blood loss wasn't enough to account for it. The blood loss is indicative that his wrists were cut after he died, and also the pills in his stomach weren't digested.
We've spent enough on Peter People, but the Defence Ministry says
Peter People, the real name.
Peter People was working on a non-classified study of Soviet advances in beryllium metallurgy. Beryllium is widely used in atomic reactors.
Yep, that's true.
Sands, the most recent scientist to die, was a researcher for ESAMS, a Marconi sister company where the Defence Ministry says he was working on a tender for air defence systems contract. There is no clue to who put the gasoline tanks in his car before he went on his fateful ride in Basingstoke.
Hey, no, this is England. We say petrol.
Yeah. After Sands' death, opposition lawmaker and defence specialist John Cartwright wrote to Defence Procurement Minister Lord Trafan, saying, "I do not wish to be accused of inventing plots more suited to a TV thriller than real life, but I think the circumstances of these 4 cases stretch the possibility of mere coincidence too far." Trafan, completely above board, says, "I agree, it's odd that all were computer scientists working in the defence field, but any relationship stops. I don't see that a special inquiry, such as you suggest, is either desirable or necessary at this time."
So, in other words, really nothing to see here. Move along. Stop asking questions.
Well, Marconi's Haddon insists there's nothing to suggest the deaths are more than coincidence. We employ
really
35,000 people in 18 separate sister companies, he told the AP. These individuals were working on separate programs for separate companies at separate locations. So, like, literally, Marconi say, look, if you employ enough people, some of them are going to commit suicide. A bit like Hillary's attitude. You know, if you know enough people, like, quite a lot of them are going to die in Cessna accidents.
Yeah. It's just normal.
Oh, yeah. Interdimensional Lizard says CO2 is 28, Hobbit.
Still not as good as odds as inventing water-powered cars.
So, not CO2, carbon monoxide. That's CO.
He said CO. Oh, did I say CO2? I meant CO.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's saying air is a mixture of things, so you need the average molecular mass, which they say is 28.9.
Yeah, because nitrogen's the main constituent of air.
So does that mean CO is lighter than air?
Right, yeah, okay, that's right, yeah. So O2, dioxygen with a molecular mass of 32, that's heavier. Carbon monoxide's lighter, but because there's a lot of nitrogen mixed in the air, which is, it's weird.
So it's about the same then. So that would be why you... So would that be why you run the hose into the car so the car fills up with it?
Yeah.
Okay then. So laying on the floor would probably counteract a lot of it? Is that what we're saying?
Mate, he was found dead probably due to carbon monoxide asphyxiation.
Yeah. But why was he laying on the floor? That's the weird bit, isn't it?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's quite fun to find a new conspiracy, though, isn't it? Quite by accident. But yeah, that was it.
No, there's no conspiracy there. That bloke says there's nothing to see here. Move along. Stop asking questions.
You've had Marconi, the employer, say there's nothing to see here, and also the defence guy. So there's obviously nothing to see here.
Exactly.
There's nothing to see here. You're just a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, filthy conspiracies.
Filthy conspiracy. Right, are we done for the evening?
Yep.
Are we done?
Yeah, it's nearly up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just going to say if you wanted to do more because like weren't there last week on account of the fact of conspiracy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no conspiracy.
There was no conspiracy, nothing to see. There was literally nothing to see last week. So move along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. So good night, all.
Go
Good night,
away now.
everyone.
Go away now.